goes right here. I put that right there because that's where I thought it should be. All right. Okay, that's where it ended up, right? Okay. Okie dokie. Okay, let's put this thing right there. Get a little bit more view on the table. Yeah, I'm gonna pull this thing up here because this guy is going to be the man of the hour. Although this is what we got in mind. We're going to take this thing and turn it into a butterfly, but a little bit at a time. Hey, woodchucker, hope you had a good vacation, buddy. Hope you're back. And that's pretty neat, that find. You found all that bark, man. That's really cool. It's really cool. And not only that, I don't know how much you got of it. You can sell it. There's a market for that. I'm not interested in it because I use it. You know, I use it so much myself, and you probably will too. But you could potentially put it on, you know, Etsy or some other kind of platform like that and sell it. You know, hey Poonam, how's it going? Hobo Hideaway, what's up? What do you know? Matthew, Dad, what's going on, guys? Just be sure and smash that like. And we got a neat little product here. We're going to take this thing and we're going to turn this into a butterfly. And I'll show you, this is when we're all done with this, this is going to go on the nose of a bear. I'll probably have to drill a hole in it. Or actually, no, I could probably shoot this down with some brad nails and hold it down that way. But one of these, something's going to happen. How about that? Something's going to happen. Hey, Tim Les Creations, Michael S. Super Fan. What's going on, buddy? Glad to see you. Glad you guys are in here. So that's the plan. We're going to turn this into a butterfly. What we got here is NOEVSBIG helping hands. And what these say is little metal, magnetic things. They clamp like that. Now, these are actually made for electronic technicians to use to hold circuit boards, to hold wires, and they're magnetic. So, I mean, man, there's all kinds of uses you could think of for these things. I suppose you had it on that, and there's a piece of metal. You can hold your phone with it. That's pretty daggone good clamp. We're going to find out. Like, holding this skinny piece, I think that's going to be good. It fits it a little better back here on the back side of it. We'll have to see because it's about maxed out. But anyway, that's what I'm going to use to carve this butterfly. And this butterfly is going to go on the end of a bear that we already got. This is going to be neat. Hey, Raja Bende Gahana, glad to see you in there. Ray and Sandy's Woodworking, what's going on? One of our newest members, glad to have you in there. You guys be sure and smash that like button. Hey, Mark tries to carve. What do you know? Man, everybody, all the royalties showing up. Okay, so first things first, before we carve the butterfly, I want to show what this thing's actually intended for. It is not intended for carving. Can it be used for carving? We're going to find out, because if you're carvers, this is pretty much worthless to you unless you can use it to carve. And this is pretty thin stuff. And some of us do some pretty intricate stuff. And that's a lot for me to say as primarily a chainsaw carver. But that said, you know, I do some intricate. I don't think this light's on. Let me find out. Oh, yeah, it was on. Okay. Anyway, in fact, it's probably giving that little ring in there. So before we get into carving with this thing, let's show you what this thing is supposed to do. So I got two pieces of wire here. Boom. Just like that. Boom. Just like that. Pretty daggone handy. This looks like something that our old buddy Cheech could use when he's doing these lines and stuff there to make the clips for his roach clips. Something like that. So anyway, I got these two pieces. We'll turn them off like that. And this is what this thing is meant to do. It's actually meant to solder wires and stuff. But we're gonna do some stuff with it. We're gonna play with it ourselves, and we're gonna use it for carving. If you're a carver, you know, I mean, you want something that's good for carving. If you do a little electronic work though, you know, it's probably handy for that too. But anyway, here's what we got. Soldering pin, old trusty little Weller pin. Clunky little thing. Hopefully it still works. I didn't try it before I started live stream. But anyway, we're going to tin the wire up. And this is what this thing's supposed to do. And this is, I'm going to tell you guys something. This solder, I'm surprised it melts at all. It's probably 10 or 12 years old. And I actually was ET1 for the Highway Patrol. I was an electronic technician. For a very short period of time. I took communications, electronics, career center class in high school and worked on stereos. And back then it It was Carphones. Before they were just coming out with the first little handheld models. Remember them great big ones? And them British guys would make them where they walking around with a giant phone, and the phone was like as big as he was, and he'd be like, "Hello, I can't hardly hear y'all." You know. Anyway, whatever. But this is what this thing is really for. That's holding them two wires together. And anybody's ever soldered two wires together, it's kind of a hassle. Because your hands are bouncing back and forth. I put too much pressure on it there. But anyway, your hands are bouncing back and forth. Here, now that's together. Let me show you the difference. Let me tin these. I'm going to tin them. And I mean, I know how to do this. I've done it. It's still, that thing made it way easier. I'm going to show you the difference. Trying to tin a wire with that. Okay. Tin this wire. And then we'll get into carving this butterfly with this thing and see how that goes. But I got to demonstrate how this thing works first. Y'all can decide for yourselves. Is that handy? So now here's what I got to do. I got to find some way I could take them and wrap them or something like that to hold them two pieces together. And watch how unsteady I am. Old coffee drinking me. Look at it. I can't hold it. Now it's soldered. But does that look good? I don't think so. So, hey, we made a necklace. Maybe we'll send this out to one of our women friend carvers. Maybe they'll wear that. I don't think I would. It kind of cut your neck or something. Okay, anyway, that is the intended use of this NOEVSBIG. Who cares? If you don't do electronic work, you never solder anything, that's not going to mean anything to you. So, could it be any good for carvers? Let's find out. I got to unplug that thing. Throw it on the floor. Here's my little butterfly. Boom. Okay, it's holding that. Got out my KUTZALL Extreme Flame Burr 1/8 inch. We're going to find out how that works. That's on the VEVOR 780 watt. And here's the thing from NOEVSBIG about this tool. It says, thanks for choosing our soldering tool. We hope it makes your soldering projects easier and more efficient. We offer a warranty and after-sales support to make you have a great experience. Please don't hesitate to reach out to our after-sales team at support@novesbig.com or Amazon support. Okay, anyway, that's what that says. Yada, yada. What we care about is, can I use this thing to carve? And so far, it can hold that. That's probably about 3/8. And that would be pretty important to me, that thing can hold that so that I can work it over. Because that's a pretty small piece. And, you know, it's going to get thinner as we go. I'll have to take it off, roll it over, all that kind of stuff. So, without further ado, I'll take a drink of Coca-Cola out of a 2-liter and go over here and turn my handy-dandy dust collector on. And get my mask on and try not to burn my foot on the hot summer soldering iron that's sitting on the ground. Now, when NOEVSBIG sent me this, they just gave it to me. No link. I don't have a paid link or anything, so I don't have to put on there that it's a paid or anything, paid promotion or anything like that. Just to show how it works. They just want content creators to show how it works because this thing just came available. Anyway, to me, if you can't use it to carve, I don't know what we would use it for. Anyway, you guys hit the like button to help me out. Have a good Sunday night live stream, and I'll get some safety goggles on here and start making some dust. How zoomed in are we? That's pretty decent. It's not bad. Okay. I mean, that thing don't even think about coming out or nothing. It stays right in there. That works pretty good. Here's how we got it so far. Thinned out, cut these down, and roll this dude over, and we'll do this side of it. And just keep going. Hey, LJ, what's going on, guys? Just showing up. Hey, baby kisses. If you're just showing up, hit the like button. Appreciate you being in here. So we're going to cut this dude down quite a bit. Actually, I'll work the back side first, because I want to take a lot out of the wings on this outside. Why don't I just do one side at a time? That might make more sense. All I know is this thing's pretty daggone handy for what I'm doing with it. This thin piece of wood. That's pretty nice. See what we got going there. He's turning into something a little bit at a time. All right. Let's just zoom out just a little bit. There we go. Yeah, something like that. carried away on that side because that's the bottom. I just wanted to thin it out so it has a little bit of lift look to it. And that's good enough. That's plenty good enough. So I'm going to work on the body and put some detail on this thing. If you guys have not hit the like button already, be sure to hit it. I'm going to put these little pads back on. The little rubber pads definitely seem to come on, especially with wood. Now, they didn't do that when we were doing the wire, but you know, I understand because it's really not made to necessarily hold on to that, but it grips it pretty daggone good. And the only time I had any issues was this last time when the pads came on. Even then, when I did have issue, it wasn't that it didn't have the strength to hold it, it's that it didn't have the grip without the pads. These burrs through either Rhinestone Suzanne's link or Wowie's Workshop's link. They're both KUTZALL. They both have KUTZALL links. Gives them a little bit of credit if you get them through them. So I would highly encourage you to get it through one of their links. I get mine through Suzanne's. I know Suzanne. I met her personally. I really like Wowie though, but I met her personally, and so I generally I get mine from her. I like the boat. I gotta tell you, that's pretty cool. see if we can give the wings some like skeletal detail. We'll try to do that next. But I'm telling you, this thing is actually working out pretty good for carving something like this. You know, it's only got so much depth to work with. You know, I'd say that's 1/2 inch. But you know, if you were using it for something like this, and I want to say it was like 28 bucks on Amazon, something like that. Wasn't very expensive, and you know, especially if you have problems with your hands sometimes, you know, holding stuff, or worried about getting hit by the burrs. That was another one. Kind of gives you anxiety when you're carving about maybe hitting yourself with a finger. You know, there's kind of, you know, just some different things to consider, you know. Anyway, hit that link if you haven't already. Man, this thing's squeezing my nose. It makes me talk funny. All right. I mean, really, I mean, I see them all the time, but I don't pay that close attention to them. You know what I mean? That's our butterfly. Okay, I'm gonna rub him off a little. Man, there's moths in here. We talk about butterflies and stuff. Moths coming in and attacking me. Kind of is what it is. So, I'm gonna set that dude off to dry. I'm just kind of feeling it. See if it needs burnt. I'd say this needs burnt. So, this thing here worked out pretty good. Cannot complain about this. Glad NOEVSBIG sent me this. Showed you guys how it works. Pretty cool piece. That was pretty neat. It definitely held the butterfly. So the butterfly, I got to burn him and paint him, but I think I'm going to carve something else. I'll set that off to the side for now. And here's the deal. I don't have nothing to give away. Next week is our members live stream, and I don't have anything ready to give away, so let's make something. How about we take maybe this piece? Yeah, this piece will work. That's already had the like the thin stuff peeled. And it'd make for kind of a short nose maybe, but I'm not sure. But let's make a face in this. I think that'd be cool. People like watching them too. That zoomed out, zoomed in. It's kind of something or other. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with that NOEVSBIG product, and I'm glad they sent it to me. And I got the demo. That was pretty cool. Now let's see if we can make something else. And you never know. We also, by doing these things, we expose carving to more people, you know. All right. Let's make a face in this thing. I don't know. I'm just going to do it. I'm going to clean these glasses off a little bit. I made... Hey, Cheech, what's going on? John, glad to see you. Belinda, how's it going? DeLand? Yep. See Mark in there? Yeah. All right, let's do it. This is going to be, if it comes out okay anyway, it's going to be a members, next week's members live stream giveaway piece. Let's start on this side. It's wire. I've been seeing DeLand carvies. I need to send him some of this bark. I don't think he has any. This stuff is so fun to carve. I don't care who you are. Anyway, hit the like button. If you have a heart at all, you'll do it.
far as I can go with this burr. I'll go to switch over to something else. Hope you guys are having a good time. We're 1 like away from 50. And we got this short that it just won't quit. I mean, I regret that I even put this short out because it's been hurting my YouTube recommendations because it won't shut off. And you'll have that when you get involved with a short that's kind of off niche. It'll jack up your recommendations. And I'll tell you, I don't know all the you think this is going to make a good giveaway piece for next week's members live stream? I don't know. Make it easier, you guys will say, hey, remember that one time Bear had that members live stream giveaway and he gave away that face that had no nose? Hey, Creation Dust 777, best chainsaw carver in the world. You're definitely the best one you're going to see live streaming. Anyway, check him out Wednesday, 2 p.m. Heck yeah. Okay, let's see what we can get here. We'll put that spear fine detail burr back on. Dig that nose out a little bit. Try to shape it a little bit more. If I can get this thing lined up right. Come on now. I need the NOEVSBIG to help me get this burr in there right, don't I? Okay, there we go. here we got a members live stream giveaway next week, and I just mailed out Dan's and Suzanne's stuff Friday. So you know what I mean. Hey, 52 mainly. Glad to see you guys in there. Heck yeah. All right. Keep right on going. Eyeballs. I'm gonna try to make some eyes around the eyeballs. That one's too small. Let's see what I got here. I might have to go out and get one of the ones in the quarter. Nah, this one's big enough. This will make good eyeballs. And yeah, we're gonna give this away. I think that's pretty cool. So you're a member of our channel. That's pretty awesome thing in of itself. Nobody has to do nothing for nobody. You guys are awesome. Just the idea that you would be a member. And right now we got 30 members, and so that's 1 in 30 chance to win carving, and something we can do once a month. We can give away some stuff like this, give away a carving just to show our appreciation, because we don't have to do nothing. My father-in-law used to say you got to do 2 things, and that's die and pay taxes, and that's pretty close. You know what I mean? He still says that. zoom in like that. Hey, what's going on, Last Breath Woodworks? Josh, glad to see you in there. Creepy thing, you know. I don't know, you know. It's the way these things go. That's a pretty cool piece, though. And you know, you just try to give your members something back. And the noses is probably like my weak spot so far, but I'm kind of working on them. But all in all, that's a pretty neat piece. It looked pretty neat hanging on the wall. You know, not too bad, not too good. Somewhere in the middle. That's what we like to say. Hey, Billy Shoemate, what's going on? Hey, I do have one more thing I need to do. What time we got here? Yeah. So, you guys have seen me jacking around with the stupid, okay, the cord was out. On this, grinder. What's happened is, I'm gonna set that off the side so I don't tear it up. And there's that butterfly. Looking pretty cute, and the NOEVSBIG. That's pretty neat. You know, this thing is pretty handy for carvers. I don't know. That's my take. If you make little delicate things like that, oh, I want to show you guys before somebody gets bored at this next thing I'm going to do and leaves. I want to show you guys what I'm going to do with this butterfly. Hold on a minute. So let's walk over here and look. Hold on, I got to put my flip-flop back on. I don't want to walk on this garage floor. Anyway, so we got this bear. And here he is. And this bear's looking at it. And if you look at it, it's like, what the heck's he looking at? You know, has no idea. So, boss lady said, you should put a butterfly on his nose. So, by the time that thing's all painted, now it won't sit there, the angle's too good, or too steep. But you get the idea. He's going to have that butterfly. Maybe we'll take the butterfly and put it on there. Hey, Possum, what's going on, buddy? Maybe we'll take the butterfly put it sideways or at an angle. But anyway, or hey, how about this? Ultimate stare off, you know what I mean? So we're gonna paint this dude up and we're gonna put it on the end of that bear, in the end of his nose. That's the plan anyway. Now he's hiding under it. Okay, I mean, we could always just put it on his ear even, you know, kind of like that. Something like that. But right now, that's what I'm thinking. We're gonna put it on his nose. Just like that. Something along that lines. Snap it on there so he's looking at it. That's what we're thinking. Okay, there we go. We'll leave him, actually, no. We won't leave it because we got to paint this thing yet. All right, so we'll take it over here. Hey, Michael, appreciate that. Heck yeah. Oh, yeah, I know you had treats in your pocket. Yeah, that's another way to look at it, too, yeah. And we've almost sold him twice. And people, they ended up buying something else, actually, believe it or not. So I got this, here, in case I knock this thing off, let me get the wire tie back over it so it can't fall down. And somewhere inside here, the cord's broke. And I got my new one out finally today. And I know you guys were laughing at me for a while. I kept playing with it, you know, trying to pull the cord out, or, you know, if you held the cord off to one side, the thing would work fine, you know. So somewhere in here, there's a broken wire, and I'm not sure exactly where, but what I do know is I've had to fix this thing twice already because now this tool has actually been pretty decent, but the wire, the cord, is just crap. I don't know why. Funny how these things go, because a lot of times these things happen and people just throw the tool away, you know, and I mean, it's understandable. I mean, you know, so that thing there, the way it slides over, and no, it's not plugged in, just in case you were wondering, although that would bring some extra excitement if it was, right? I mean, I'm just saying, you know, I'm not saying do anything unsafe. I'm just saying, that's all I'm doing. I'm saying, okay, shove that thing out. Somewhere in here, there's a broken wire, and I think it's right there. Yep, look how that bends over. You can see that's a sharp bend there, and it's just enough to make contact. And then this thing has these goofy little, now I gotta be careful. If I drop a piece of it down in my vents, show's over, right? It can happen though. I'll come up with another screw, dig through the stuff. I'm not saying it won't happen, especially putting it back together. But anyway, I had to make these things, kind of bend them out of the way and make them work. And yeah, you can feel that. In fact, you can see it kind of protrudes right there where it's broke. And that's where the problem was. And when I'd wiggle it just right, that thing would work. It'd work okay. Wiggle it just, yeah, okay. So I may have to come up with new stake-ons. Actually, these stake-ons here, you can see I took a pair of pliers and squeezed them so that they'd fit in there. Let me see if I got any new ones. I don't know. I know I'm stepping on the safety glasses. That ain't a good either. Speaking of glasses, I need my good glasses to find them. Might have some stake-on stuff in it. Let's find out. Let me turn this thing on. We don't need the dust collector anymore. Although I will say, that dust collector has been pretty awesome. Central Machinery, I got it at Harbor Freight. Let's see if I got something in here. Oh yeah, I do. Okay. So we can use, and they're probably going to be they'll still be too big. And we'll have to pull the boot off, but I gotta fix it. I mean, there's nothing wrong with the tool. It's just the wire's cheap. And you guys have watched me. I can't totally rag the tool out. I don't treat stuff very good, and I wouldn't lend anything to me. Just in case you're wondering, if I ever say, hey, can I borrow that? I mean, it's up to you. Don't feel obliged to lend it to me because I don't take care of stuff. Yeah, I'm pretty hard on stuff. And I can admit it. I mean, I don't care. You know, it is what it is. Man, he says he's hard on stuff. Correctamundo. All right, that's a little Spanish lingo if you didn't know. All right, hold on. Let me get a pair of wire strippers. And okay, there's a pair of wire strippers. And here's a... this is a pair of lineman's pliers. It's got a Buchanan crimp in it, but I can use that. Smash that thing down. So, before I even do that, here's all the places that I've rubbed the cord with the wire wheel. And yeah, it's getting shorter and shorter. But that's all right. It's still pretty long. That was another thing kind of amazed me how long the, man, that one there is so bad. So bad you can see the wires hanging out of it. Is there anything else worse after that? No. Okay, then that's where we want to start. Sayonara. Yeah, sayonara. I don't, in case you didn't know, that was Japanese for goodbye. Okay. Here. Throw this over here. Yeah, it's almost football season for those of you who watch football. I don't have time. I have nothing against it. Kind of enjoy it. Don't have time to watch. No football? What are you, communist? No, just busy. You ever take time to sleep or anything? Yeah, it's the only thing I do other than work. Why is that? Well, I like working. You know, I like working. You guys ever heard anybody have a conversation with yourself like this? And that's the thing about live streaming. You have to be somewhat crazy to live stream because you're talking to yourself. You're talking to people. Sure, you guys are there, you know, listening, whatever, you know. But I can't hear you. I don't know. I just see, you know, a little pop-up. That could be AI bots or something, for all I know. You know, I mean, could not be real. I don't. You guys might not be real. I don't honestly know. But I guess the greater point here is I don't have a problem talking to myself. It's all right. You know, there's a safety glass on the floor. Okay, so I'm trying to remember how that went back over. If they came in from behind, no, they came in over the top. Okay, I remember now. All right, so where's that at? And I could have used a NOEVSBIG and soldering iron, you know, but these hold on just fine. Just crimp it on there. Actually, I don't even think I need that Buchanan spot. I can probably just smash it and be happy. Yeah, that's good enough. Heck yeah. It'll probably break there. I'll probably tighten it too much. Find out the hard way, right? One thing about it, chat's rolling good. Heck yeah. Wrong. You are not wrong. Yeah, DeLand, you know, you're talking to yourself. I mean, you look at it over there, and you don't know how many of these people are bots. I mean, none of them are bots, but it's funny to joke about. You know, sooner or later, there'll be a bot, and they'll say something stupid, and you guys in blue will give them a ditty. That's the way it goes. That's life in the big city. Okay. Okay. Blow my eye a little bit. Has some sawdust on it. I made all the welcome bear, that cow in a bathtub. I made a bear coming out in a pumpkin and a pumpkin today. I think, yeah, I made 4 pieces today. And a welcome sign, which I need to make another welcome sign. Man, the other one just popped right off. This one don't want to cooperate. Yeah, just tearing the thing apart. Maybe I should just burn it. Be environmentally friendly. Set this piece of plastic on fire, right? Which brings me to another upcoming live stream. So I have in my possession, and my formerly nicotine stained hands, as Rush Limbaugh would have said, I have a electric chainsaw. It's like, I can't even remember, it's a battery power. I can't even remember what model it is, but it's a Makita knockoff of some sort that my chainsaw guy had. And he said, man, he said, I ordered in a bunch of these. And he said, because the Makita was like $600. He said, I thought at the such price that I was just going to clean house. And he said, I never sold any of them. And he says, so I ended up having to drop the price just to get rid of them. And he said, this is the last one I got left. And he said, you want to buy it? And I said, you know, it would be nice to have, because like I'm out and about and I get out on the road a lot. It's just part of my job. I'm in sales. And I see a lot of small pines down, stuff like that, 10-inch, 12-inch stuff, some 14, 16. But a lot of times it's in links that I couldn't load it. And I'm like, man, if I had a saw with me, I could load some of that and take it home. And so I thought, yeah, that wouldn't be a bad idea. And he said, you ought to try to carve with it. And I'm like, well, I will. But I don't think 2 batteries will last me that long. He said, look, I'm trying to get rid of this crap. I'll give you a dozen batteries. And I'm like, well, all right, whatever. Yeah, that's fine. So he gave me 17 batteries and 4 chargers and a pole saw kit for an undisclosed amount that was insanely ridiculous. I'll just say that. And he really hooked me up. This is my guy, and that I have him do all my work that I can't figure out for myself on chainsaw. And plus I'm buying everything from him now. Well, anyway, so I got 17 batteries, 4 chargers. This thing takes 2 batteries. It's 36 volt. And I've charged every battery over the last 2 days. Got it all going. They're all the same size battery. I want to say they're, I don't know. Hold on, I'll grab one. I don't know if they say on them what amp hour they are or anything like that, but we're going to find out. Here, let me get that screw in there. Hold on, let's see. There's 2 different ones, and they're labeled. They're V modest or LG. That's what the saw is. The saw is an LG. So the 4 amp hour, 18 volt batteries. The 36 volt takes 2 of these batteries. I got 17 of these batteries. So obviously 16. That means I got 8 shots. So here's what I'm getting at. I'm gonna do a live stream carving a small welcome bearer with this saw and 16, because 17 wouldn't do you any good. I don't know if I did this right or not. I don't think so. Oh, it goes like that. 17 or 16, because 17 won't do me any good. Batteries, 16 batteries means I got 8 chances with this thing to carve a bear with it, right? You guys agree? Okay, 8 chances to get a bear done with this saw, little welcome bear. It's gonna be a little one. You know, I don't want to challenge it too much, because I mean, it's China saw and all that. I don't want to make it too difficult and unfair for it, and then it'll scream foul play and whatever, and then they'll take over Taiwan. It'd just be awful. Okay, but anyway, that's an upcoming live stream. I don't know when that's going to be, but it's going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen tomorrow. We also sold our big bear. I'm extremely ecstatic about selling that big bear, but I got logs out here to make another one. But that big of a log, it's a little bit of a trick to stand it up once it's already laying down. But I have another pine log coming. Actually, I'll probably get it tomorrow. And it's cut in 2 sections, and I could stand one of them sections up off of that trailer a lot easier than I can get up one of the ones I have now. And so I also want to make another one of those bearers before the big show we have coming up. And not for the show necessarily, but we at the same time we want to be able to take it just because it was cool last time. Let's see if this works before we put the rest of the casing back on. Fire in the hole, Granny, fire in the hole. Okay, anyway, so although the cord is kind of pretty short, but that's all right. You got an extension cord anyway. I mean, if you're expecting perfection, you're looking at the wrong place. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. Nothing goes in there. It's not like I have it outside in the rain anyway. So it is in the shanty, but it's not outside. I mean, it's outside. Okay, it's outside, but it's not outside. Can we agree to that? Try to get the wires in there. I don't want to pinch one. I want to test it again once I get this sleeve back up on there. Cover. Anybody got a hammer? Yeah, I don't know the way that's going on there. It doesn't give me the warm and fuzzies. It must, maybe it goes this way. Let's find out. Yep, I was putting it on the wrong way. No shock. No shockerama. Anyhow, I can't wait to do that. And I've already thought about the thumbnail. It's going to be, this is environmentally eco-friendly. It's going to be eco-friendly chainsaw carving. Or is it? And I'm going to have all them batteries. Picture me with all them batteries and this saw. And then we'll have like some eco-friendly little leaf thing. And then I'm going to have a nuclear power plant off to the side. I just figured that makes sense. All right, there's that. Set that baby off to the corner for now. Although I like that new one, man. It's a little bit bigger, a little bit heavier duty. And oh yeah, here I'll show you this saw. So I've not played with it. He put this 12-inch chain on it. Let me zoom out. He put this 12-inch chain on it, and actually, and that's a 50 gauge chain. I mean, it's pretty heavy stuff what he put on there. And it came with this bar. This is the bar it came with. I think it's a 16, man. It looks like it's 18 inches. I don't know. That's pretty daggone long. I'm pretty sure it's a 16. But anyhow, I guess that's the bar it came with. And chain, that's the bar and chain it came with. And yeah, that looks, let's see if it tells you. Yeah, 3/8 LP, 57 links. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, that's what it came with. But he put that 12-inch on there because he thought it would be more up my speed. But he also gave me a quarter sprocket, and he had to modify the quarter pitch sprocket to fit this thing. Let's see if we can get this off. Scott had this part, and I didn't watch him that close. And you can see I already used it a little bit. I took a piece of pine log over there and started carving a bearer. And I went ahead and left that bearer there because, you know, heck, I go over there. I'm finding myself going over there about once a month, and I could just keep carving on that piece. I'll clean all that out real quick. And here's what I'm getting at. So I'm going to take this one here, used bar, which I went ahead and redressed it, used chain, teeth are pretty small, carving bar and chain. I'm going to put that on there. And we might as well just do this now. What the heck, I already got this part. And I'm learning, you know, I mean, that's the thing. The more you mess with this stuff, the more you learn about it. So he had that sprocket that comes with it. I don't know what that fits, you know, like what this saw is comparable to in the big name brands. But that's a quarter pitch sprocket. Had to sand it down or grind it down a little bit to get it to fit with that O-ring in there. Or maybe it won't fit with the O-ring. I think there was an issue with that, where the O-ring might have to come out. I can't remember. If that's the case, might just have to shut down the show. I don't know. We'll see. But, you know, I mean, if you're going to do it, you're going to give this thing a chance to carve a little welcome bearer. You might as well have the right stuff to do it, because if I'm making a small one, yeah, I'm pretty sure that O-ring had to come out. We were talking about that. I'm like, I'm not even sure. He said, I'm not even sure what that's for. I said, hey, you're the chainsaw guy. It's like, yeah, but I don't know why they would need that O-ring to be in there. I'm like, okay, yeah. If it gets oil down in it and ruins it, then I guess that's why, right? Yeah, that's a good reason. Yeah, there we go. That'll fit now. Definitely. It wasn't going on there without that. With that on there. But anyway, now it's carving sprocket. Quarter pitch sprocket, just like that. Let me go knock this solve this off here real quick. And the sprocket, the sprocket adjustment on this thing is really weird. And then of course my other question is, will it get the oil down in the motor and ruin the motor? And it might. You know, I have so little money in this. If it does, I'm only gonna say I was dumb, not anybody else. It's not enough that I'm gonna be upset about it, I can tell you that. The thing was oiling pretty good, that's for sure. I'm not sure exactly where it comes from here. But that said, that attaches, your adjustment is over on this side. So we got to make it work with that. That's kind of neat little rig, you know. I mean, if it works, it'll be a nice, I guess I should be careful. If it works, it'll be a pretty neat little rig. And definitely more than anything, throw it in the truck, you know, run down the road, come across just cut down a, you know, 10 to 14 inch tree, you know, they lay these things out in 6 or 7 foot, 8 foot pieces, you know, where you hurt yourself, you try to move them, but you cut them in 2.5, you cut them 30-inch pieces, you know, and that's sellable, making sellable pieces. Voila, right? I don't know. We'll see how this is gonna go. Make sure to put the bar on this right. But this is the old bar, original Forester bar I had. And yeah, that looks good. The issue is adjusting this. Where that pin's at. And it looks like that pin. The adjustment for this thing is this thing. And it is super fine. There it is. Heck yeah. It needs to tighten there, doesn't it? Needs to go back the other way. Well, let's see if we can get it on there first. Am I going the wrong way? Yeah, there we go. No, I just hadn't even got a hold of it yet. Okay. I don't know. Looks pretty loose, doesn't it? All right, let's see. Maybe loosen that up. Well, that's it. And I've never seen one like that. That's how the thing tightens. I got to loosen it more. That's how the thing tightens. Which I just thought that was kind of odd. And I mean, this thing is, this chain is one to the out. I mean, it's an old original. I think I'm going the wrong way. Yeah, I am. Okay. Well, you never know. It's new to me, you know. In fact, he was doing this, what I'm doing now, and it looked to me like he wasn't even doing nothing. Okay, that's getting close. Let's see. Is that? See what kind of sag we got. That looks about right. Yeah. I don't think it'll go any tighter. Okay. All right. So we'll find out. And like I said, taking that O-ring out, we'll see if that spins right. I mean, I got just the right amount of sag, so that looks good. But you know, we'll give it every chance we can. We'll use a carving chain so we can make turns easy. When I was playing with it the other day, out there Friday to the chainsaw guy's house, the thing I noticed was, you know, you're trying to make turn cuts to that big wide bar on a little piece, and it just don't want to do it. So on and off, let's see if this thing fires up and moves the chain. Yeah, well, it moves. How about that? So anyway, that's going to be an upcoming live stream here over, let me turn that back off. That's going to be an upcoming live stream. We're going to see how this goes. We're going to have 16 batteries and 8 chances to carve a small welcome bearer with this electric saw. I thought that'd be pretty funny. It's a, it's a some loco something. LG motor. Okay, it's an LG 36 volt chainsaw. Now, converted over to specifically to carve with it. And we'll see how that goes. Man, that thing gets tight. You take that out and it locks up. That is tight. Oh, man, how do I get that tight? Let me put them batteries back in it for a minute. That's odd. I don't know why it would be like that. Put a couple batteries in. Turn it back on. There it goes. It loosened back up. All right, we're gonna find out. It's just because the brake's on. When that brake, however the brake works, that's what's going on with it. And it won't run off of one battery. It's gotta have 2. But anyway, all them batteries will be, when we go to put this to the test, all these batteries will be charged up. And I will have a gas saw, just in case we have to revert the fossil fuels to finish the job. I will be prepared, if that makes any sense. Okay. Which I wouldn't be shocked if we had to revert to fossil fuels to finish the job, personally. But I'm biased, honestly, just being honest. Anyhow, here's what we got. This is going to be this coming week's giveaway piece for member live stream Friday. That is the plan. Pretty neat little piece. I'm pretty happy with him. Got a lot better detail now that I've got these fine KUTZALL burrs. And so it's pretty cool. Not too bad, not too good, you know. Something like that. But a little technical fun, you know, playing around with these saws and stuff. Not too bad. Let's see what we got here. All right. Hey, have a good night there, Raja. Hey, Pilato, what's going on, buddy? Hope the wife's doing good. We heard she's had a kidney transplant. Hey, Artsy, what's going on? Glad to see you in there. Oh, Josh, this CD must have had to leave. All right. All right, guys, I'm getting out of here, too. Don't forget to catch Creation Dust 777, 2 p.m. Wednesday. And as of right now, I'm planning on being in here carving something tomorrow evening. But I don't know what. And we do have this coming up, but I can't tell you when. It's just coming. Yeah, you got it right, Billy. Ice cream. That's right. We all scream for ice cream. All right. I like that, Raja. I like 10 of them. Hey, Michael, thanks for the thumbs up, buddy. Heck yeah. Okay, guys. Hey, appreciate that, baby kisses. You're the sweet one. Anyway, don't forget, members live stream next Friday, too. We're going to give that face carving away. That's the plan. All right, guys, we'll catch you. Come back when you can stay late.